Hi guys! First, thank you so much for watching our videos. We really appreciate everyone who has liked, shared, and subscribed to our channel. I'm not sure what YouTube's witchcraft is that they use for their search engine algorithm, but I do know every time you like or share our video or subscribe to our channel, you give us a little more YouTube pixie dust, and we really do appreciate that.
Really, we do thank you. And happy Thanksgiving. Today is Thanksgiving, and we're sitting here on our gorgeous patio being thankful for so many different things. Also being thankful for getting one more step forward in our sailing adventure. The first step really was to make sure that Kim enjoyed being on a boat for more than a day.
Which I did.
And our second step was to list this beautiful villa here in Ambergris Key for sale.
Which we have. Check out the link in the description below for more information.
And our next step is, drumroll please, sailing lesson.
But there were a lot of things to consider before we made the decision of where to take lessons. Like which sailing organization would be best for us to take lessons under, if any, and what were the differences in the organizations. Plus, what types of certifications do we want and or need?
Right. So, before we decide to actually pull the trigger and buy a boat, we may want to rent a boat a couple of times and charter our own boat. And what are those charter companies going to be looking for from us in order to rent that boat? Then when we are ready to purchase the boat, we're going to have insurance on it. Well, what is that insurance company going to want to see from us to make sure that we're fully capable of sailing that boat safely?
Exactly. We're looking at a catamaran between 45 and 52 feet likely, and I'm sure insurance companies aren't just going to insure anyone. Plus, we needed to find out the costs involved in sailing lessons. So in this video, we're going to show you guys all the research that we did before deciding where to take sailing lessons. So hopefully, if you're just starting out or thinking about taking lessons yourself, we've done a little bit of the legwork for you.
And if you stay tuned to the very end, we'll tell you where we decided to go.
Yeah, please stay tuned to the very end. We'd appreciate that. First question we asked is it important to be certified to sail? I mean, obviously we want some form of education or an experience before we go sailing, but what are charter companies and insurance companies actually going to want to see from us? And will they be offering us a discount if we're certified by a sailing organization? Teresa Carey's Sailing Simplicity asked these very questions, and here's what charter companies actually had to say. Certification not necessary, just a good sailing resume. No ASA discount, sorry. There are no discounts for ASA or U.S. sailing. We do not require any certification as such, but we need you to have experience of having captained a similar sized vessel. We will ask you to fill out a sailing resume. If you'd like to charter in any of our Caribbean bases, you do not need certification. All we require is for you to fill out our sailing resume. In response to your email, unfortunately, we do not offer any discounts for certifications. We're looking for ASA 104 certification or equivalent experience. Your experience should be on a similar type and size boat as the one you wish to charter. As a first-time charter guest, we'd have you fill out a copy of the sailing resume. We do offer credit for significant experience. So after hearing these responses, it becomes kind of clear that charter companies value experience over certification, and they don't offer a discount if you are certified. So here's what insurance companies had to say. Unfortunately, we do not offer any discounts for certification. The discount for an ASA certification isn't better than for having experience. Other factors such as location, boat value, etc. have a greater effect on the premium. There are a number of factors that are included in the experience discount. It's primarily a judgment factor the underwriter uses to price a risk. We do not offer discounts for ASA classes. With most companies, there is no discount for ASA. So do we need a certification? Not really. But we do need experience verification, that's for sure. And doing our training with a sailing organization is going to mean we get consistent professional training. So that's important. So our second question was, what are the different sailing organizations? The American Sailing Association is one of the best known in the United States. They have over 300 schools with 8 levels of certifications. Their courses range in length from 2 days to a week, and they all have some component of classroom training plus on-the-water training. The ASA courses involve everything from basic keelboat sailing, basic coastal cruising, bareboat cruising, coastal navigation, advanced coastal cruising, celestial navigation, offshore passage making, sailing review, trailerable multi-hull standard, try to say that 3 times fast, cruising catamaran, basic celestial endorsement, docking endorsement, marine weather endorsement, and radar endorsement. Now, the next organization we looked at was the International Yacht Training. They have over 200 schools in 54 countries. However, they're more geared toward people wanting to work commercially in the sailing industry, and that really wasn't for us. So we didn't continue to look at IYT any further. The Royal Yachting Association is the oldest of the 4 sailing organizations. They were founded in 1875 and have over 2,400 training centers around the world. Their courses are assessed by an independent examiner in a set practical exam. They do have a small number of schools in the United States that offer their classes. However, no one was in Belize, which I thought was interesting since we used to be British Honduras. U.S. Sailing was the next organization we looked at. This is our Olympics team. They do have schools in the U.S. and the BVIs. However, the schools I looked at focused their education on monohulls, with catamarans as more of an afterthought or an add-on. They have 2 tracks of education, the small keelboat track and the cruising track. And as you can see, the catamaran endorsement is part of the cruising track, but it's such a small part of their educational experience, I wasn't sure this is what we were looking for. We next looked at Nautic Ed. This is an online sailing courses class with a sailing resume feature, which, after hearing what charter companies and insurance companies had to say about wanting to present a resume with your experience, this definitely piqued our interest. They were the first sailing educator to receive official ANS recognition. They satisfy the United Nations boating standards, and they're the only sailing education program that the Coast Guard recognizes as meeting ANS standards. They have 24 sailing classes online, and they partner with schools in 23 countries around the world for hands-on in the water training. Nautic Ed courses include Navigation Rules Clinic, Skipper Course, Basic Sail Trim Course, Maneuvering Under Power Clinic, RYA Day Skipper Course. Yes, they are actually an RYA education provider. Coastal Navigation Clinic, Catamaran Sailing Confidence Clinic, Bareboat Charter Clinic, BVI Islands Briefing, Electronic Navigation Course, Sail Trim Clinic, Storm Tactics, Anchoring a Sailboat Clinic, Weather Clinic, Safety at Sea Clinic, Introductory to Celestial Navigation, Skipper Small Keelboat, Transformational Instructor, Introduction to Sailing Course, Qualified Crew Member, Yacht Charter Crew, SLC Examination Course, and Getting Started in a Dinghy Sailing Course. Now, Nautic Ed provided this chart on their website showing how they compare to 3 other organizations. Of course, since this is their chart, I'm sure that they definitely picked facets of comparison to make sure that they did stand out from their competitors. So it is probably a little bit biased, but I did think it was interesting to see some of the different features and how they compared against U.S. Sailing, RYA, and ASA. The next question we considered was, what are the costs with sailing education? First, we looked at ASA costs, and we looked at the Sail Florida Keys School. They have a live-aboard 7-day program that covers ASA 101, 103, and 104. They do it in a monohull, an Irwin 34. The total cost per couple was a very reasonable $5,296. However, it didn't include ASA 105, 106, and 114, which we would definitely want, especially 114. We looked at Sunshine Sailing next. They had an a la carte menu of classes that ranged from about $600, as you can see here, to about $2,000 per person. However, they didn't offer a price for the ASA 114, that catamaran course. You can do a combination course of 5 days for $24.95 a person. That saves you about $1,000 for the 101, 103, and 104, or a 7-day for $29.95 a person, giving you about a $500 savings. So if we package the 5-day bundle with the 105 and 106, that came out to $10,170 for both Grant and I. Plus, we would still have to add on that ASA 114 class. Next, we looked at Belize sailing vacations, and I was super excited about talking with these people. I actually have friends that use Belize sailing vacations to learn how to sail, and they loved it. They said super nice things about their experience. They felt like they got a great education. They had a wonderful time. And then I found out their liveaboard is on a Leopard 47, which is catamaran between 45 and 50 feet, which is kind of what we're looking for. So I was really, really anxious to hear back on pricing from these folks. And then I got the pricing. $16.95 per night for 7 nights is $11,865. We've got a 10% tax in there. And then the ASA 101 and 103 combo class for $655 a person, plus the ASA 104, 114 combo, $850 per person, gave us a grand total of $16,061.50 for both Grant and I for the 7-night journey on Belize sailing vacations. And we still wouldn't get ASA 105 and 106, so we would have to plan on that expense plus more time away from work to get that taken care of. Next, we looked at RYA cost. Ocean Academy has a 1 week of theory in classroom and then 4 days practical on boat class. That they didn't give any details on how much, if any, of that would be on a catamaran. The cost was reasonable at $6,800 a couple. Then we looked at yachting education. They have a 5-day live aboard experience. Depending on the experience, their website says that you will result in an RYA day skipper, a competent crew, or a coastal skipper certification. They recommend using NAUTICED courses before you come on board so that you have more theoretical knowledge. Hope you get that higher certification level. Their total cost for this program was $9,700 a couple. Next, we looked at U.S. sailing costs, and I'll be honest, this was a little difficult for me to really put a fine point on the pricing. They had some a la carte pricing that ranged between $200 and $600 for a 3-hour class per person. Some of their beginner classes had a reduced second person fee. It was all a little bit jumbled. There wasn't a clear track of programs that they would recommend, and there was no details on the percentage of class versus on the water. So I really wasn't able to come up with a firm price on what it would cost us. Then we looked at NAUTICED costs. We looked through their courses. They have a great goal tool on their website where you put in your current experience, which ours is 0, to where you want to be, aka skippering our own boat. And I also spoke with Global Director of Education, Grant Hedefin, and these are the courses that we came up with as appropriate for where we want to go and where we're at now. Basic Sail Trim course, Navigation Rules, Introduction to Sailing course, and the Bare Boat Charter Master Course bundle. This includes skipper course, maneuvering under power, bare boat charter, coastal navigation, anchoring a sailboat, and electronic navigation. $405 a person, so $810 for both Grant and I. However, we also had a coupon code set up for us, Sanity Intact, all lowercase, and that saved us $15. So you can use that coupon code as well. That would give us a $10 credit towards our future education, so that would help us out. And our revised total cost was $795 for both Grant and I. The pros and cons of Nautic Ed are pretty straightforward. The pros, first of all, they're very reputable. I actually spoke with Moorings in Belize, down in Placencia, and told them, hey, this is what we're thinking of. We're thinking about taking classes with Nautic Ed. What do you think of that certification process? And they thought very highly of it. So that was reassuring, since they are one of the larger charter companies. There's the flexibility of online learning. Grant and I can both do a lot of this theoretical coursework on our own time here at home, work it around our work schedules rather than taking off time from work. The class costs, I thought, were very reasonable. And again, we can take the classes we want to take. Now, obviously, there were those recommendations of which classes we should take, but you know what, when I'm done with this, I think I'd really like to take like celestial navigation. I think that would be super cool to be able to navigate by the stars. When we decide to go down to the BVIs, I'm for sure going to take that BVI course. Biggest pro, though, is going to be this resume feature. After hearing what charter companies and insurance companies say about wanting a sailing resume with your experience lined out for them, this is going to be super handy to have. Here are the classes we've taken in past. Here are the hours we've spent on the boats. Here are the drills we've done, etc. All in one electronic format. We just print it out. No need to fill out different forms for each different thing. Just print it out and hand it on over. Of course, the only con is we still need to do the on the water part, and Nautic Ed itself doesn't do that training. However, they do have their partnered school. That brings us to Yachtcations. Yachtcations is a Nautic Ed partnered sailing school, and their pricing was really straightforward and very clearly spelled out on their website, which I really appreciate. They have 4-hour lessons for $550 a piece, or you could buy a 10-lesson bundle for $4,500. But the best part was the second student comes along on those lessons for free. So the total cost for Grant and I for a 10-lesson, 40 hours on the water, $4,500. As mentioned, Yachtcation classes are 4-hour lessons that are on the water, not in the classroom. They also have the benefit that you start learning sailing on a catamaran, not in a monohull. Now, I know that means that we're going to have kind of a steeper learning curve than if we had started with a small keelboat, but what it also means for us is that we're going to have 40 hours of sailing experience and education in a boat that is similar to what we would want to charter and definitely similar to what we would want to eventually buy. Their training is on a Lagoon 450F. That's a 45-foot catamaran with a flybridge, which is perfect for us. Again, the size, it's in that 45 to 52-foot range. Flybridge helm, we're looking at either a flybridge or a raised helm. So this was actually tailor-made for us. So there we have it. We've started the Nautic Ed classes online. Boy, is there a lot to learn. The terminology alone is like learning a foreign language. But Grant says, I can't just go around calling everything thingy. Don't know why, but he says it's not proper. And we're going to be taking our on-the-water training with Yachtcation starting January 24th. So we're looking forward to giving you some videos about that experience and telling you more about how that goes. In the meantime, thank you guys so much for watching, and please like, share, and subscribe because that does help us out a huge amount. And in the meantime, we hope everybody has a happy and healthy and safe holiday season. We look forward to talking to you again soon, and stay tuned for some silly outtakes for your viewing enjoyment.
Put a shirt on. Oh. Jeez. He's too used to not wearing a shirt.
naked man ironing show over here. Ready?
Yep.
Hi guys, thank you so much for watching our video, and I wanted to no. Okay. Hi guys. What are you looking at?
People walking over there.
All right.
Our next step is, drum roll please, sailing lessons.
Woohoo! But there were a lot of things that we had to look into before we decided, oh, that's bother. Okay.
I think it should be done soon.
Yeah.
We have to stop because our neighbors are doing construction and they've got the vibrator out to settle some concrete. Not what you were thinking.
That is not going in the video. Just leave it. Just leave it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it.
All right, we are on.
Is it on?
With ladies and gentlemen, it's us.
Is it, do you have the lens cap on? You looked. Okay, I think we'll see what those came out like.
Yep, there you go. Let's see. Is it still recording? Oh, it's not recording.
No, it's not.